Hello everybody and welcome. This is Jeremy Moskowitz, Group Policy MVP and founder of PolicyPak Software. And in this series of videos, I'm going to show you the missing tool for VMware Horizon View Suite. Now, VMware Horizon View is all about operating systems and applications and getting those to your end users. And VMware Horizon View is exceptional at getting those applications to the end users, but it's actually missing something. The suite is missing the ability to manage those applications after they're made available to users. And that's what PolicyPak does. And that's what I'm going to show you in this series of videos. Now, this video is regarding floating link clones. And we're going to have other videos for things like PolicyPak with dedicated VDI and local mode, PolicyPak with ThinApp, kind of the old school way of doing things, PolicyPak with ThinApp and VMware Horizon Workspace, plus videos about using PolicyPak alongside with your iPads and Horizon Workspace, and also PolicyPak with Mirage. So in this video set, I'm going to show you in total where PolicyPak increases your management of your applications whenever you use each piece of VMware Horizon View. So let's get started, and I'm going to log on here as West Sales User 1, and I'm going to pick my pool, my VDI pool. For this demonstration, again, we're talking about floating linked clones. For other videos, we'll talk about dedicated and local mode. So go ahead and click connect here. And of course, I'm preparing the desktop, connecting to my desktop, and there it is. Now, you might already be familiar with something that VMware ships, which is the VMware View persona management, as you can see it running right there. And that is a great piece of technology, but let's be clear about what it does and what it doesn't do. So let's actually start off with a demonstration of that before we kind of dip our toes into the PolicyPak demonstration. I think that's an important place for us to start. The reason VMware persona management exists is for when you have applications and your users are utilizing them, and if a user were to make changes and get another floating linked clone, those changes will be maintained. So let's go to Options Configuration here under WinZip, and let's uncheck 1, 2, 3, 4 checkboxes. So this is just me, standard user. His name is West Sales User 1, and this user is making some modifications and changes to a garden variety application, and clicking OK and clicking Close. And so now I'm going to log off just to show you the VMware persona management in action before we do any kind of extra demonstration. Let's just see this part working. So what's happening now is that user's logging off, and what should be happening is that the next virtual machine in the pool should be ready. So we'll go ahead and click on our client again. We'll log back on as that user, and all the stuff the user has done will be flushed, but those settings will be preserved by VMware persona management. Let's go ahead and see that all first. Okay, we'll log back on again as West Sales User 1. We'll go ahead and pick our pool, and we have no idea which machine in the pool it's going to get, and because everything was flushed, any weird changes the users made, that's all great, those are all gone. VMware persona management kicks in, gets the settings that we know the user has performed, and when we run WinZip again, we should see just the user's settings that he has made will be dictated back to WinZip. Let's go ahead and check that out right now. So we'll go to Options Config here, and there we go. We can see that all 4 of those checkboxes are unchecked. Okay, that is just VMware persona management inside your floating linked clones. Now, where PolicyPak kicks in is where you have settings you want to dictate and guarantee. For instance, in this application, you might want to dictate that the minimum password length is 11 and all the check marks are on, and users can't work around the setting. Let's do that. Let's do just that. So in order to do that, we're going to go over to our standard group policy management tools. We're going to do this for all, say, of our West Sales users. So we will dictate WinZip settings using PolicyPak. Now, PolicyPak ships with over 100 pre-configured templates to manage just about every application that you might already have. I only have some of the snap-ins ready to go here, just by way of example. Acrobat Reader and Chrome and Firefox and WinZip and a bunch of other things here, but there's over 100 pre-configured packs. So let's pick PolicyPak for WinZip just to kind of get us warmed up here. And let's go over to passwords and let's do those settings changes we just said we wanted to guarantee. So we'll check all 4 checkboxes, set minimum password length to 11, and while we're here, we can hide or disable corresponding controls in the target application. We can literally disable or remove the UI of certain items that are in the application. So I've hidden and disabled a bunch of them. And for cameras, we can also disable the whole tab in the target application. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that as well. We've locked and loaded these directives, and when normal group policy applies, which is just in the background, or when the user logs on, they will get these settings. So to prove a point, I'm going to get these settings right now, and we should see them kick in. And I'm also going to log off, get another linked clone, and during logon time, I will guarantee these settings to the user. So let's go ahead. We'll run WinZip here, go to Options Config, and these are the changes the user made, and now these are the changes that I made. So now as the administrator, I can dictate and guarantee that these settings can't be worked around. I've checked all 4 checkboxes, and you can see I've grayed out and removed the UI of certain settings, and I've also left certain settings. So you can make settings either policy if you want to and guarantee them and lock them down, or make them preference so a user can choose to work around them. So you can see I've also eliminated the ability to use the Cameras tab. PolicyPak is always working, so if a user does change one of your preferenced settings, the next time that the application runs, and it is automatically refreshed. If you don't want that, it's certainly easy enough to ensure that those settings are in fact guaranteed. Like I said, right-click and disable the corresponding control in the target application. We can also right-click and perform ACL Lockdown. And when you run ACL Lockdown, what this does is that it literally locks down the setting itself in the registry. So a registry savvy user can't even work around the application setting, even if they knew what they were doing. So I'm going to run GP update here just to refresh group policy here. And let's look at this from 2 angles. I'm going to run regedit as the standard user. And let's go over here. And we'll go to HKey current user, software, Nico Mac Computing, WinZip. Policies here, and I'll go ahead and run WinZip here. Okay, so just to prove a point, users settings that VMware Persona Management is handling, those are fine, and over here the settings that PolicyPak is dictating are over here. So we're literally dictating the settings and users can't work around it. Even if they're super smart and they try to go to password length and change it to 2, they are locked out and thwarted. They are not allowed to do that. Okay, so now that you see how PolicyPak works in conjunction with VMware linked clones and persona management, just to prove one more point, let me go ahead and I'm going to log off. I'm going to pick another machine in the pool, so therefore I'm logging on for what would appear to be the very first time because I'm getting a totally refreshed machine each time in my floating link clone, and at logon time you'll see PolicyPak running alongside the persona management, and the 2 functionalities from VMware and also from PolicyPak go hand in hand and work together. Log on as our guy here. And we'll go ahead and pick once again our floating linked clone desktops, getting a brand new clean machine again, and watch what happens. We're going to see the VMware Persona Management kick in first. Boom, that was fast. You'll see also PolicyPak kick in, and boom, that flew by equally fast. And at that point now, the settings that the user wants are there, and the settings that you want as the administrator are also there. And that's the point. Dynamically delivering the settings that the user needs from their perspective, and also that you need from the administrator perspective. And that is basically PolicyPak in a nutshell. Let's also see how we can use PolicyPak to lock down and manage settings, not just at a user level, but also at a computer level. So if we wanted to, we could manage, say, all of the machines that are in a particular clone set. So these are typically stored in a particular OU in Active Directory, so we can use PolicyPak in conjunction with group policy and dictate the settings to the entire pool. So for instance, if you wanted to set the home page and lock it down for an entire pool, well, that's super easy to do. Let's head over to my group policy management console again, and you can see I've got an OU called West Sales VMware Floating VDI, and this is where all the Active Directory accounts automatically go for this pool. So if I want to create a new group policy object here and call it Manage Firefox for my VMware floating pool, right-click, edit here, and PolicyPak on the computer side now has the same packs. And again, I only have a handful of them ready to go here. There are, again, over 100 pre-configured packs. And let's go ahead and pick Firefox, and we'll pick a new home page, and we'll go to floating.com. I have no idea if that's a real website or not. But while I'm here, I'll right-click and lock it down. And for security, we don't want users to be able to work around these very important security settings. So I'll dictate those settings and also lock them down. Now, again, it's great that the VMware Persona Management is available for when users make the changes that they want to make. Those will roam with them. But for everything else, anything you want to dictate, that's what PolicyPak does. So we'll go back to our machine here. We'll go ahead and run GP update here, or as you saw, you got to log off and log back on. Either one, you're going to get PolicyPak dictating the settings when group policy applies, which is in the background or at logon time. And when that occurs and we're done, we're then ready to go ahead and check out Firefox here. So we'll go ahead and run Firefox. And we'll go to options here. And there you go. There's floating.com. And over security, those check marks are now checked and guaranteed on. So I hope this makes sense and you can see where it's a good, totally great best practice to try to put as many important settings as you want to inside your golden image. But you can't get everything, and even if you do get most things, it doesn't mean that users can't work around your settings. So if you want to guarantee those settings, plus enable users to be able to change the settings that are important to them and roam with them, well, that's great. That's where VMware Persona Management comes in, but PolicyPak is the last mile, which will dictate the application settings and lock things down so users can't work around them. Thanks so very much. If you're looking to get started, we hope to hear from you and you can try it out. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.